Welcome back to our 7-part series on playing musically. In the last video we were talking about the inner pulse and the feeling of rhythm. If you missed this lesson, click on the link in the description or somewhere in the video corner up here. In today's lesson we are going to speak about mastering tempo changes and to be exact about the gradual change of tempo. In comparison to tempo markings like allegro, adagio, lento, and so on, this kind of tempo change refers to a small section, sometimes even to one measure only. This kind of tempo changes is about the ability to slow down and speed up naturally. If you're able to do this, your playing sounds musically. Ritenuto, rallentando, stringendo, morendo, accelerando, and many more are the indication words you can find in your score. A lot of them are in Italian and you have to learn the abbreviation and meaning first, but these words give us the information about the gradual change in tempo. So let's start. Our first example is super easy. This piece was composed by our famous Mozart when he was only 6 years old. And now we're going to slow down in the last two measures together. Since the tempo stands for the speed of the pulse, we need to feel the pulse first without tempo changes. So we have something to compare to. So before starting to slow down or speeding up, you have to count the beats in tempo. In this case, this minute is written in 3/4 time signature, so this will be strict 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the next step would be to slow down with every beat until you stop. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, and so on. It's like driving a car. When you see the red light, you have to stop smoothly. So let's play the last two measures and count as we did before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe I will start 4 measures before the end so we can hear the difference. This is in tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe it was a little bit too much already. You can make less. The funny thing is that there was no indication word to slow down, but it's often the case if you play a composition from a Baroque or classical period. You slow down a little bit, especially if there is a repeat and you're playing it for the second time, to show your audience that the composition is going to an end. Another example for you, a ritenuto in the middle of the piece, followed by a tempo, back to tempo. This is why you should always remember the pulse without any tempo changes. It will allow you to come back to previous tempo easily. Speaking about the gradual tempo changes in general, they help us to understand the composition better. For example, to separate one musical thought from another by slowing down at the end of the phrase, or it shows emotions. Very often when we see the indication marks for speeding up the tempo, it's about the excitement, the agitation. So you just simply can't stay in the strict tempo when you feel nervous or you want to tell someone a wonderful news. So you have to hurry up. This is an example from Frédéric Chopin's first ballad in G minor. 4 majors playing strict in tempo. Followed by agitato part. So this is not a stringendo or accelerando, it's agitato, but the meaning is the same. We have to get excited, we have to start playing faster. And it follows by a section where you can see sempre più mosso. It's always skating a little bit faster and faster. So without changing the tempo, it's impossible to show the character of the piece. These tempo markings are not only about the tempo, it's also in some way about the character of the piece. So they might be in Italian, French, German, English, and sometimes you have to learn the translations, but they're so important for us to make the composition interesting. But even if you have to learn a lot of foreign words, they are at least written in your score. But there is also a term called tempo rubato, which literally means stolen time. And this is often not written in your score or indicated as con anima or espressivo, but you still need to modify the tempo because the music asks for it. Remember in our first example, Minuet, by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, it was easy to figure out how to slow down. When we play tempo rubato, there is no exact information what to do, whether to slow down or to speed up, and when exactly and how much. This was an example from Debussy's Reflections in the Water. If we would play it without tempo rubato, so very strict in tempo, it will sound like this. So this magical atmosphere and the idea of this work disappears. You have to add this freedom. You have to breathe while playing, to slow down sometimes toward the end of the phrase, or on contrary, speed up a little bit towards the next phrase. And when speaking about tempo rubato, you will for sure hear the examples of Frédéric Chopin's. He himself hated exaggerated rubato, and it's said that the metronome never left his piano. The secret of Chopin was that his left hand, or the accompaniment, was always in tempo, while the right hand, or the melody, would be free to sing. He also said that the left hand is like the choir master and should be very strict. This is what he recommended to his students as well. The left hand is playing in tempo, the right hand is singing. The term cantabile, which means to employ the smooth vocal style, emphasizes this. Without tempo rubato, it would sound like this. So it's not what we want to hear. I'm sure you know this composition. This is Fantasie Impromptu in C sharp minor. It starts like this. This composition starts in C sharp minor, and the middle part is in D flat major. And harmonically, this would be the same as C sharp major. But Chopin wanted us, the pianist, to feel this middle part harmonically and visually completely different. You enter a different world when you start playing this middle part. The tempo is different, the key is absolutely different, and this tempo rubato, this freedom and this peace we have in the middle part makes absolutely a huge contrast to the beginning. I think the best way to learn how to play tempo rubato, especially if you have never done it before, is to imitate other pianists. And don't be afraid to overdo. This is the right way to learn how to do it. So you find the recording with your favorite pianist, listen to a short sequence which contains this tempo rubato, and then try to repeat. Tempo changes, and especially tempo rubato, are elements of musicality which need some time to find a natural place in your playing. So please allow you some time and listen to a lot of different recordings. In the next video, we will look closely on the third aspect of musicality, the balance between the hands and the way to enhance the melody. So please like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss upcoming videos. And if you have any questions, write a comment. Thank you very much.